Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. You're go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
But what I'm saying, Tom, is there is absolutely no reason for baby clothing to have pockets. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show, episode number 177. It is the second day of September, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind.
And you made it.
Wow. Been doing this for how long, and I almost missed my cue. No, I was thinking about your baby pockets thing. It won't be long before babies have cell phones. I see 8-year-olds with cell phones. Come on now.
Oh, Lord.
You know, they're going to need a pocket for that little baby cell phone.
You're probably not wrong.
Call daycare. Hi, daycare. I'm not coming in today. I don't feel good. I don't know.
When we have AI speaking for babies, that'll be...
yeah. That would be weird. You know what this is right here?
GPT.
You know what this is? You don't care.
Fantasy football draft.
Oh.
I can read backwards.
How did you figure that out?
I read it backwards.
How did you figure
saw
that
your
out?
headline.
Seriously. Did you really?
Yeah. I saw the headline.
Okay.
Backwards.
There we go.
Is that today? When is that happening?
I should be a detective. Detective Greg. For me, the draft is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that something you guys are meeting somewhere to do, or how do you handle your?
Oh no. When I do fantasy football, I get on a random Yahoo football thing. They just fix me up with 9 other people who, some of them may be AI, some of them may not be. I've suspected that some of them are, because I've tried to email some of them like, hey, I'd like to trade my defense for your kicker or something like that. And they get no response. None whatsoever. And I check it fairly regularly.
I got a feeling most fantasy football players out there are just kind of set it and forget it guys. They do it at the beginning of the season, and then
Yeah, but that defeats the purpose. Why do you do that? Now, what makes me mad is that I've emailed some of them at times saying, hey, you have 2 empty slots. You're playing the team that you should beat, and I need you to beat them. And I get nothing. And that's what makes me so mad. This is the one reason I don't like being in these types of leagues. But I don't have time for the draft. I don't have time for anything. The draft tomorrow for me is 12:30. So I'm going to do my draft. I'll sit there on my computer and all that. It'll take about a half an hour. So by 1 o'clock, I'm good and done, and I'm ready to go. I don't mind any of that. I just do my thing. I do my due diligence with it.
I'll be interested to see how that comes together for you for week 1. Let's do our big number of the week before I get too deep, because I always do. Let's do this right now. Our current race to 10 is tied up at 5 apiece with Tom and Joann, and we have a interesting big number of the week for you this week. This week's big number of the week is 92,003.
Wow, that extra 3, man.
The answer is fraud or fans, and we'll give you the answer before the end of the show. Fraud or fans, 92,003. And we've got a special guest today we're going to bring on in a little bit here. SARENE from Tadmore Tailoring. They're doing a special event for Womanspace of Rockford. It's called RESTYLE the Runway. We're going to learn all about that in just a little bit. Got some shout outs to share with you this week. As far as real estate related stuff goes this week, I'm very happy in that my pleas and my calls and my messages for people to sell their homes is finally turning into some stuff. I've had a lot of meetings with sellers recently, and as I've said before, our team here, our team's sold on Tony at Keller Williams Realty Signature. On the team, I'm a buyer specialist. So personally, my personal interaction and my personal hard work is for buyers. I work the buy side and the buy side only. However, I still bring sellers into the team because we need sellers desperately. And I do make some commission off of the sellers that end up selling with our team. So it's very important, especially in this market, to be working with sellers. And this last week and a half has been really, really good. We've got sellers coming on the market. We just had one list in Loves Park, which I'm sure is going to be sold before the weekend's up. We've got a house coming on the market in Pecatonica that's beautiful. I can't wait to be able to show that. And then a couple here in Rockford that we'll be listing in the next few weeks here as well. So
Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry. I have one.
Well, I was just going to say again, I've emphasized this over and over again. The inventory is historically low. There's not very many homes on the market to buy right now, and there's still plenty of buyers. The buyer pool is still quite full. The seller's pool is feeling nearly empty.
Okay, because that's the way it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, it's even worse now.
It's even worse. I remember one time, this was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago by now, that you said we only had like 300 homes available in the area. And we normally have 5,000.
Our typical strong Rockford Metro healthy market is somewhere between 22 and 2,400 homes on the market. That's what we like to consider a balanced market. And in the past, that's proven to be a balanced market. So a few years ago, when we were, down around that 1,300 home, we're like, oh my gosh, this is such a strong seller's market. There's so, it's such a great time to sell. But of course, we had this pandemic thing hit, and then all this goofy stuff that the government tried to do to bolster the economy. We had artificially low interest rates for a couple of years. And so we have all these people that bought houses or refinanced their houses, and now they have interest rates, 3%, some even lower than 3%. And those folks, unless they have to move, probably aren't moving right now. But the point I made this week, one of the videos I did on my real estate page this week was, hey, you know what? People still have life happen to them. And so people are still going to move, whether they have job changes or they retire and they want to move closer to family, or they no longer want to be snowbirds. They want to live permanently in one of the sunshine states or something. People's lives continue on. So there will be sellers. It's just we have much fewer now than before. Yeah. So interest rates are not affecting home values. The interest rates, just because they're now around 7, that's still good. That's still good compared to ask your parents and grandparents if they bought a house in the early 80s, what they had to incur for interest rates at that time. It was in the
7 or 8% or something.
Some people bought houses with 17% interest rates on their home.
That's unbelievable. They'll never get
well,
that
they
thing
did.
paid off. If you pay like an extra house payment a year, which isn't that difficult, but maybe 2 or 3 extra per year, you can knock about 12 to 15 years.
And of course,
off
interest rates
easily
change, so you can refinance. So everyone that bought in 1981 at 13.5%, a couple years later, when interest rates got down to 9.5%, they refinanced.
I was far too young at that point to be buying a house, but I remember that. I remember my parents refinanced at some point, and then they went to Disney World.
There's that.
Home.
So anyway, shout out to the sellers that are coming on board here soon, and buyers, hang in there. It's still a good idea to buy if you're going to be in the same place for more than 3 years. Basically, that's about the thing.
All right. So one other quick question before we move on to our guest. You said you're in the buyer end of it, but you can't have a buyer without a seller. You can't have a seller without a buyer. So don't you work both sides, or you just focus on?
The thing is, we specialize on our team. So I am
Okay,
always
all right.
focused on the buy side, and my 100% of my focus is how
Okay.
do I best serve the buyers that I'm working with. I never have to shift gears in my brain to
Okay, I
think
gotcha.
about how am I going to get the most money for a seller.
All right. So if somebody called and somebody that you helped buy a house 3 years ago, and they said, "Well, Greg, we're selling because so and so just got a new job. We're moving." You then will refer them to Bill or Sally or whatever.
There-
You don't handle that. What if they say specifically, "We want you"?
And that's happened before. I say, okay, I'll be there, and which is what I've been doing these last couple of weeks is
Okay.
going to listing appointment meetings with my listing specialists on my team. So because you want
Okay.
Josiah, you want Jaron, or you want Tony to be the ones actually listing and selling your home because they focus every day on getting the most money for their sellers. Hopefully I'll be the
Gotcha.
hopefully I'll be the one that brings the buyer to you too. That would be awesome. I would love that. But we do dual agency in our office in our team about 8 to 9% of the time. So a little bit less than 10% of our sales on our team are considered dual agency, where we're representing the buyer and the seller on the same property. So yeah, it's an exciting. It's always an exciting time to be in real estate. Things change all the time. There's never the market's always different. If this ain't the market for you, just wait 3 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be changed. It's going to be different.
That's right. Don't like the weather.
Absolutely.
Just wait 10
A couple
minutes.
other
I
quick
got
shout outs real quick. My one awesome, beautiful bride and I got away for a little weekend getaway in the middle of the week. You know how that goes sometimes, and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna take a day." We went to Chicago. We went to the Cubs Brewers games on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we went to Tuesday night's game,
Nice.
and then we spent the night in Chicago and went to the Wednesday afternoon game. And it was the weather was
wow.
awesome. That was the good thing. The games were awesome, actually. The Brewers lost both games by 1 run, so
Yeah,
yeah,
3-2 and 1
and you
to
would
nothing,
think the
right?
1-0 game was probably really boring. It was not. It was very exciting. There was a lot of great athletic plays on the field. It wasn't.
And obviously
It was
good
decent pitching, but it wasn't great pitching. It wasn't like a whole bunch of strikeouts. It was a lot of good fielding. The wind was just right so that the Brewers would have had 3 home runs on a dead calm day. It would have been a 3-1 win for the Brewers on a dead day.
No, the Cubs may have had
Yeah,
4 or
that's
5
true.
home runs
Well,
themselves, or 2 or 3.
Just considering
So,
the hits that were hit that we witnessed,
Okay,
it would have been
all right, you might be right on
probably
that.
3-1 at the end, or 3-2. Anyway, very exciting games. It's going to be a really fun stretch into the September here.
And I believe they both end up playing one another, and it's probably
They could wild card situation, yeah, something like that is probably gonna happen. All right, we got a little pause in the technology. Ba-ba-dum-ba-dum. Please come back. Bum-ba-dum-bum. All right, well, I'm not sure if it's recording me or you, so I'm going to keep going here. A couple of final quick shout outs again. TLC Construction, kudos to them for hosting In Crowd this week. Had a nice sit down with Jan and John at their house. TLC Construction hosted In Crowd on Thursday. Next month, we'll tell you about that next month, and it's going to be a special event with our friends at Mosaic. And then finally, Ski Bronx had their final show of the season last night, and they did a wonderful job out at Shorewood Park. Very emotional night for the Ski Bronx last night, as they celebrating their season and coming to an end. And they pulled off successfully pretty much all of their tricks last night. Nearly everything. It was probably they would probably say it was an 85 to 90% solid show for Ski Bronx last night. What a great show! Their new thing these last 2 years has been a prefabricated 4-high pyramid, and that's been the highest scoring act in show skiing this last season. So kudos to the Ski Bronx for doing such an awesome job at Shorewood Park again. All right, I think we lost Tom, but I think we have SARENE back here with the technology reboot that's going on here. There's an event coming up on September 9th, and it is called RESTYLE the Runway. This is all taking place at Rockford University, and SARENE is the owner of Tadmore Tailoring, and you've been doing this now for how? Tadmore's been open now how much? 4 or 5 years?
6 years.
6 years now. So congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
You've well passed that 2-year threshold that many business owners can't get past.
Definitely. We definitely have, and we're very blessed.
Very, very exciting. Now tell us all about Tadmore Tailoring and how you got started and why you started a tailoring business in, let's see, you said 6 years, so 2017. Why did you start that?
That's a really good question. So Tadmore Tailoring is a team of expert tailors. We can do anything from sewing on a button to intricate wedding alterations. Whatever it is our customers need, we always rise to the occasion. So why did we start Tadmore Tailoring? It's a funny story. I'm actually a trained dietitian, and I have my master's in public health, and I used to go to different businesses and teach people how to live healthy lives. And I was updating one of my presentations one day, was typing in fast food in Google, and instead of fast food, it popped up fast fashion. And I'm like, well, what is fast fashion? What is that? And I started reading about it, and I went down this rabbit hole, and I learned that the fashion industry is the second dirtiest industry in the world, that 10% of the carbon emissions in the world are a result of the fast fashion production industry. I'm like, oh my God.
Something is goofy with our technology for a moment. Just hold on a second, because all right, there we go. All of a sudden you started talking like a hamster, and it wasn't your fault. So I don't know what happened there. It's still doing it, so I'm not sure why it's doing that, but I'm going to see if we can't just reboot here real quick and get you to be this is strange. This is a new one, SARENE. Let me try that again. Did you sound normal again? No, you still don't sound normal. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is very strange. Let's go ahead and have you reboot on here again. Okay, so go ahead and go back to your link and start over again and see if we can get the audio back. I did touch something. I will admit I did touch something. I was trying to adjust the volume just to turn her up a little bit, and then all of a sudden she started sounding like a hamster or something, and that was very strange. All right, hopefully this is better now. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, good. You're back to normal now.
Awesome.
So you started this in 2017, and you weren't looking for clothing. You were looking for something else.
Yeah, I was updating a presentation about fast food, and I came across fast fashion, and just learning about how bad the fast fashion industry is for the world. It's the second dirtiest polluter after the oil industry. The second dirtiest polluter of our waters, and I felt like I really needed to do something. And then I started researching, what can I do? And I learned that the best way to reduce either the waste from the fashion production industry, or a lot of us, the average American throws away 80 pounds of reusable textiles every year. So that's the size of the Empire State Building of fabric that we can continue to use, we put into our landfills. So I was like, okay, what can I do? And what I learned was the best thing that you can do is to continue to use and love the clothes that you already have in your closet, or buy secondhand. The most sustainable clothing is the clothing that you already have in the closet. And they said the problem that people have, why they throw out their clothes, is because they don't have access to a quality tailor. And at that time, my husband and I met our partner, who is a master tailor, and we asked him if, let's start this business. He had been a tailor for 35 years, master tailor, very, very good at his trade. The stars all aligned, and Tadmore began. Then our next project was, okay, now Rockford has a really good tailor. How can we expand to encompass all of the United States? So we started our website, Tadmore Tailoring. So it's tmtailor.com. And we have customers from all over the United States, from Honolulu, Hawaii to Key West, Florida, sending us their alterations. And the really great thing about the mail-in alterations is that it is zero carbon emission. We use the USPS service, and so they're already going around to houses. They're already driving. So we're not emitting extra carbon dioxide. And we're also saving people's time. They don't need to now drive to the tailor, wait in line, get alterations, drive home, come back a week or two later. They just put their clothes in the mail, we receive them, alter them, and mail them back. So it's really a win-win-win. So it's a win for the environment. It's a win for the customers. They've saved time and they've saved money. And it's a win for Rockford because now we're building this business with sustainable jobs for people. We're making a really positive impact on the world and the community. So that's how Tadmore started.
That's cool. That's a great story. And I can imagine that there's some people who are a little bit hesitant to mail clothing thinking, hey, I got to try this back on again. And what if it doesn't fit? You know, I just sent this to you and you got my measurements and everything. And now you send it back to me, but it still doesn't fit quite right. Are you finding that some people, you know, are sending stuff back to you numerous times to get things correct? How does that come together?
That's a very good question that we get a lot. And what we do is we have multiple ways that customers can send in their clothes. So we have buttons all over our website to book a virtual fitting. So the customer can book a virtual fitting with one of our seamstresses, and we can, you know, help them pin it to perfection right then and there from the comfort of their home.
Oh, wow.
Or they can send us a garment that fits perfectly. So like I have my favorite pants and I'm going to put them in the box with these new pants or with the pants that need to be fixed, and I'm going to, you know, match one to the other. The last thing is we have videos and we have the written description on our website for how people can go and mark their clothing. So whatever method our customers are most comfortable with, we work with. And we have very meticulous check-in process. If we have any questions or any concerns, we reach out. So very minimal do we have to have that back and forth.
That's cool. I knew you'd have a good answer for that, because that's a tough thing. Obviously, you know, people don't want to be sending things back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I knew you guys would have a solution for that. Well, you've got this exciting event coming up. You've teaming up with Womanspace of Rockford. And for those who are not familiar with Womanspace, they offer programs for women and men and children. Their goal is to enhance body, mind, and spirit with a focus in the creative arts, holistic health, interfaith exploration, and environmental stewardship. They have a place over on I forget the name, Maria Linden Drive, 3333 Maria Linden Drive. Their place that they do their stuff is basically in a neighborhood. You wouldn't know it's there unless you were told it's there. And I've actually shown houses around there before, and I go, oh, what is that? Oh, that's right, that's Womanspace. The RESTYLE the Runway event. Tell us all about RESTYLE the Runway and who had this brainchild? Where'd this come from?
Yeah, we've wanted to do a secondhand fashion show for a long time. And Womanspace actually came to us at the beginning of the year and said, hey, we want to run this fundraiser where we get donated clothes. They're styled to fit the models, and you know, people can come and we learn about sustainability and see how alterations and styling can really boost the looks that you have in your closet while saving the world at the same time. And we've been working on this since January. The Womanspace the team there is fabulous to work with. It's really been such a pleasure. And this partnership, I feel, is perfect because like you said, Womanspace is a community center where they support the arts, sustainability, well-being of the mind, body, and soul. And with Tadmor, also our focus being on sustainability and really creating a world with less pollution where people are able to enjoy nature. And we're bringing that together and having it at Rockford University. It's a wonderful program. It's really exciting. Our models are coming in now and trying on the alterations. The really interesting part is our models are from the age 20 to 80. So
Nice.
lots of different ages, backgrounds. So it's not your generic fashion show. It's really the community of the entirety coming together to really show what we can do and improve and save the world and have fun at the same time.
That's cool. September 9th, 11 to 3. That's 1 week from today. The Regents Hall is a great place to have an event. It's a wonderful event space there at Rockford University. And get your tickets now. I imagine deadlines for tickets probably like this weekend.
Yeah, it is this Saturday. No, I don't think the deadline is it's sometime next week.
Okay.
It's probably on their website. But yeah, tickets are available. They are for sale at the Womanspace website, which is womanspace-rockford.org. Very easy to check out. You can select your lunch for the day. It's really going to be a lot of fun. We didn't even mention the artists. We have artists
You've
coming.
artists too. Okay.
Yes, we have artists from the Rockford community who focus on sustainability in their art. They've come and they're using some of the scrap fabric that we have at Tadmor. We're always looking for ways to continue to reuse those scraps because, our whole mission is to reduce waste. So any artist, school, organization who thinks that there's a beneficial way that they can use these scraps and incorporate them in art, in cards, stuffing sofas, whatever, we're more than happy to share that with them. So those artists are coming and they're going to be showing their art. It's really a great it's a great event.
That's one of those things over the years that, when we've donated, we have 6 kids. So we've donated tons of clothing to our local thrift stores, the Rescue Mission thrift store and Salvation Army and such. And when we drop off bags of clothing, it's like, these are not all going to be purchased. Some of these clothes are going to be like, okay, nobody wants them anymore. And they're going to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Hopefully not in a landfill. Hopefully, like you said, it's getting stuffed into, sofas or being turned into arts or whatever, something useful, because these textiles, I mean, eventually they would break down in landfills, but it's going to be some of them they won't, right? Some of these polyester clothing, they're not going to break down in a long time. So
yeah. So the scientists right now are saying that it could take up to 200 years for the polyester in our landfills to break down, if they break down. Like, we don't even know. The fabric has not been around for that long for us to know, but that's what their expectation is right now. So you're right, we have no idea. A lot of those extra clothes are going to deserts, and they're just putting them in third world countries. And those donated clothes in the third world countries, because they're sold at cents for the pound, are actually creating a lot of waste in those countries, number one. And number two, they're diminishing the local market for those traditional clothing, because now people, they don't need to go down the road and buy from their local tailor that traditional garb. They can just go get a Coca-Cola t-shirt for 20 cents. And, so we really need to be conscious of how we're discarding of our clothing. There are some really, really great thrift stores and community closets now available. Rockford University has one. Rock Valley College has one. Youth Build has one, where they take the clothes that you've donated and they give them to people who need clothes for free, specifically people if they're looking for jobs, because that's a hindrance for people who are looking for jobs. When you're going to an interview, you have to have that positive outward presentation. And that first impression is crucial, and it really comes across how with your clothing. So those 3 organizations, and I think also Carpenter's Place, they have community closets where you can donate your loved clothing, and they will pass them on to somebody to help them get a job. Like the things that we're doing in Rockford to really help the community and reduce waste was really mind-boggling. We're blessed to be in such a wonderful community, and to find out about all the different things that we have, it's really great.
Yeah, it is very encouraging. Very, very encouraging.
Yes.
Well, Tom's got a wall full of teddy bears that eventually will be donated to create new teddy bears.
Yeah, that's my
we
collection.
had to talk about your teddy bears.
I was going to say, I'm back. What did I miss?
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
Craziest thing. I landed on my roof, and some silvery-looking guy came in through the window, and he said, "I'm going to take you back to my planet Dorkovia, where you're going to be president." And I said, "No. I have to get back to the show. I'm not doing it. Not doing it." So anyway, I'd have been perfect for president of Dorkovia.
Well, I'm not
right up my alley, you know.
We were at
comment?
InCrowd Thursday night. John and Jan Bowman hosted TLC Construction. They hosted at their house because they wanted to show all the stuff that they've done.
Yeah,
at their
I
house.
wanted to go to that. I just
that would have been a good one for you to come and hang out with us. We had a good time. Let's just say Alex, Gary, and I closed the place down. We were there.
Oh wow, that's cool.
We were talking quite a while with John and reminiscing over old times and old Rockford stuff. But one of the things that John and Jan Bowman from TLC Construction gave out was a couple of their little bears. They have TLC bears with the little hard hats on them.
Did you get me one?
Well, Alex has one he probably doesn't really need. Well, he'd give it to his daughter. His daughter has a collection, so his daughter's gonna get
okay.
Who got the other one? Who got the other one? Oh gosh, there was 2 that they gave away. Plus they gave away a gift card, and that person was with the insurance guy. But anyway, all that to say, this is a really cool event, and it's going to be again at Rockford University 1 week from tonight, from this afternoon, September 9th, 11 to 3. I imagine 11 to noon or so is going to be all kind of lunch stuff. There's a lunch that's involved. And then probably afternoon or so, they're going to kick off with the fashion show and show off all the fashions made with restyled. Do you even like to use the word recycled when it comes to clothing? Probably not. I don't know.
But we're really restyling all of these clothes, and the clothing will be for sale after the fashion show. And they collected loads of donations that are really good quality. We're going through, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cashmere. This is 100% silk. So all that is going to be for sale after the fashion show, and all the proceeds we're going to go to support the women's space.
And that's all in support of Womanspace Rockford. And we shared links in the comments, and also that first link should be right to their Facebook event page. So you can go right to the event page, learn all the details, and order your tickets. If you got a bunch of friends you can get a whole table of 8 and make an afternoon of it. It would be a very, very fun event for a bunch of people to go to. Anything, SARENE, that we did not ask you about that you want to make sure we talk about before we let you go today? I love my brain's going faster than my mouth, SARENE. Sometimes I got to slow it down. The networking events that SARENE and I have met at in the past, I like your story about why you call Tadmore Tailoring Tadmore Tailoring. I think it's a wonderful story why you call the business what you call it.
Yeah, it's a tad more because, we do a tad more. You can always expect more from Tadmore.
That's awesome. I like that.
Great slogan. Yeah.
I like
good.
I like that. It's like
I'm looking for a tad more restaurant. I just want a tad more food on my plate. Does that work?
There we go. Well, anything else that we want to touch on before we let you go?
Well, we love working with the Rockford community, and I just want to let people know that when they choose to alter their clothes or reuse them, or sew on a button or whatever, restyle, that they should give themselves a pat on the back, because they're choosing to save the world, and they're choosing to improve the environment, and they really need to understand the impact of what they do, because each one of us, if we do a little bit together, we can achieve loads and loads and loads.
So if you got some unused clothing, obviously, like I mentioned there before, donate it to the thrift stores, donate it somewhere else, or restyle it. Connect with someone over at Tadmore and see if you can make something new out of it that you will enjoy for years to come. So, SARENE, best of luck into your event next week, and I hope you have a wonderful turnout and it goes really well, and Womanspace gets a lot of support.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for letting me join today. It was great talking to you.
You're very welcome. There she goes. SARENE from Tadmore Tailoring. They're over on Mulford Village there, by the way. If you want to look for them, they have a nice shop right over there near Portillo's, I believe. So not far from there off of Mulford.
What happened to my camera? All of a sudden, see, I think the alien guy, I think his energy, I think it made the camera more clear.
I don't know. Whatever he did. Hello, Joann.
Hi, Joann.
Oh my gosh, your lighting is not good today.
Now I'm on the air.
You have light behind you, but not in front of you. So you're like almost like a silhouette. We can't really see your face.
I don't know how to fix this.
Maybe if you just turn to the side a little more, I don't know, something like that.
It worked last week, but not this week.
Yeah, whatever lighting was in front of you last week isn't on this week, or maybe there's a window that's closed. Yeah. The goal is always to have the light somewhere in front of you so that we can see your face. Any light behind you kind of defeats the light in front of you. So right now you just have more light behind you than in front of you is what's going on.
I moved.
You did move.
In front of me or behind me? What did you say?
Are you able to turn, are you able to turn about 90 degrees to your right? Or is there no way to go that direction? Because I see lights over there to your right or your left. I don't know. There's lights over there. If that's in front of you, then we'll be able to see you better.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect,
oh, we got your good side. All right.
Well, hey, before we get too far into anything, let's do this. We have SMS info unofficially brought to you by All True Eyes. It's the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. All True Eyes friends, hey, tell a better story, live a better life. There's a bunch of stuff going on this weekend, of course, and one of those things is the North End City Market. North End City Market goes through October 14th. If you haven't been there yet, go by and check it out on the corner of North Main and Auburn Streets. It's the southeast corner there, where there's some green space they use and parking spot space that they use for the North End City Market every Saturday, 8:30 to 12:30. Fresh veggies and fruits and flowers and honey and baked goods and more every Saturday morning. And should be a good weather day today to go and check that out. Also, Cars and Coffee is coming to an end for the season today from 9 to noon. That's at Katie's Cup over on 7th Street, Rockford. What they call that? The Midtown District, right? Largest monthly car show in Rockford, held the first Saturday of the month, April to October. Well, this says April to October, so I guess they're going to do one more the first Saturday of October. Much more than a car show. Displays, games, contests, prizes, 50-50 raffles. It's free to participate, free to spectate outside of Katie's Cup on 7th Street in Rockford.
It's the old Amcor Bank building where it's now the Rockford School District building.
RPS
205, yeah. And I think our buddy Joe Locke is the host, the DJ there.
I think he plays all the music and does the stuff. Birds of Prey over at Atwood Center every Saturday. That admission is free. And again, at 1 o'clock, they feed those birds. It's completely gross. Your kids will love it. Check that out at Atwood Center on New Milford School Road in Rockford. Beautiful place. Go walk the White Bridge over the Kishwaukee River. David Rogers' Big Bugs, the Pollinators exhibit is coming to an end next weekend. Looks like they're wrapping up at Clem Arboretum and Botanic Garden. Artist David Rogers' Big Bugs, the Pollinators exhibit has been there all summer long, and that wraps up by the end of next week. If you haven't seen it yet, it's free with your daily admission, so you do have to pay your normal daily admission at Clem Arboretum. But the rest of that display is part of that. And then songs celebrating work is happening tomorrow at 3:00 at the Spring Creek Church. Trinidora, Concerts on the Creek, free admission. They do ask for a $10 free will donation if you can afford it, but limited seating too. They only have about 150 seats there. If you really want to check out the free music at Spring Creek Church, Concerts on the Creek, you want to get there a little bit early. Doors open at 2. Concert begins at 3. Other randoms for this week include, those prompts at the checkout counters that ask you to donate to a charity?
Oh, yeah. Would you like to round up to?
Yeah, round up or add $1, whatever. They raise boatloads of money for nonprofits every year. Consumers spent about $749 million on donations at checkouts last year. This is according to an organization called Engage for Good. And the rounding up thing, I think, is kind of cool. Asking if you want to donate an extra $1 for something, I think that's fine. The one thing that Americans are fed up with, though, is being asked for tips for places where you're not getting special service. It's not like it's a waiter or a waitress getting a tip for serving you at a restaurant, but just getting tips for walking up to a service counter to pick up a to-go order or something like that. It's
Right.
That's one of the things where apparently Americans are getting pretty fed up with. So maybe those will start going away.
Well, the thing about donating, everybody, okay, fine. You want to round up the 13 cents? Not a big deal. But being asked every single time, and I don't blame Goodwill. I don't blame Salvation Army. I don't blame them. They're doing their work for the community, and they're doing good work. But I spend a lot of time in the Goodwills and the Salvation Armies, hence a lot of my teddy bears. But anyway, I every single time I'm asked, I went in there one time and I bought something for $1.29. It was $1.38 for the total or whatever. Would you like to round up to $2? Well, no. I got this at half price because it was red tagged or whatever. That would defeat the purpose. It sounds kind of weird or whatever, but I just don't want to be asked every time. And now you're being asked by 5 or 6 different places every single time. It makes me not want to go there. Just so you know.
You can always say no. That's right. You can always say no.
I do. And my rule is I'll usually do it.
And they can look mean at me like,
yeah, sometimes.
No, thank you. And then they're, ooh, what a bad person.
Well, sometimes I think there are some of them that feel that way or would never say it, but they kind of, I agree with you, Joann. I try to do it once a week.
Doing a tip at a drive-through.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's okay.
Why do I have to tip you?
Well, okay, if you go to like a sandwich shop where you're ordering and you move down the line and you pay for it, and there's a tip jar there.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. All you did was you didn't even make the sandwich.
Well, some of those sandwich artists are pretty special, though. Some of those sandwich artists, they deserve a tip. I'll give them that. Hey, we all know 3M, that huge manufacturing giant. They were involved in a lawsuit that they agreed to settle $6 billion to resolve claims that its earplugs led to hearing damage for U.S. veterans and service members. There was about 240,000 plaintiffs that were eligible for payouts because 3M, said that these earplugs were better than they actually were. It's the largest single mass tort in U.S. history. Each plaintiff got about $25,000 in this class action.
I never got my earphones.
Your earphones? No earphones? Yeah. Can you plug in earphones on your iPad?
I don't know, but I wanted earphones anyhow.
You can, but it's not the same. It's not this kind here. It's not your typical 1/4 inch jack.
Waiting for this guy right here.
Or
want to gift Greg, Tom, and Joann some new headphones? Wouldn't it be nice if we all matched?
Headphones, yeah.
They're about $20 a piece. Anyway,
where does it plug in? I'll bring my iPad and you can show me where to plug it in.
I know for a while,
I don't think you'll be able to. Not with the iPads.
You need an
I
adapter.
just want headphones.
You might have to get
You're not that much. 1995 and 1998, and you can round it up to $2 as a tip to Greg.
2 cents to charity.
Greg's or PAWS. We'll do it for PAWS.
There you go. How much do you like tomatoes?
I love tomatoes.
Only garden fresh tomatoes, though.
Garden fresh tomatoes. Well, we've talked about this on the show before, and this is the week. Buñol, Spain has their annual food fight. It was held Wednesday this last week. The town of Buñol, Spain had more than 100 tons of tomatoes delivered to serve as ammo for the world's largest food fight. They call it La Tomatina. The festival held the last Wednesday of August draws a crowd of 20,000 tomato flingers who clearly don't mind being left on red. No one knows how this tradition began, but the town is probably eager to keep it going because all that citric acid of the tomatoes all over the place, the cleanup leaves the town more sparkling than it was before. So they really enjoy the cleanup post tomato wars. If you want to go,
do they salvage it and make tomato sauce then?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
These are the bad tomatoes. If your preferred way of telling a loved one happy birthday is letting a celebrity do it for you,
We can have Greg do it.
hi, loved one, happy birthday. I'm Greg. No, Cameo. Cameo is getting a whole bunch of new people on the site because of the strike. You know, the actor strike that's going on, the Hollywood actor strike. A whole bunch of people that had either abandoned Cameo or never signed up are coming back. Cameo has seen a 137% surge in actor signups thanks to the Hollywood actors strike, according to CNN. Since actors walked off the job last month, more than 2,400 performers have joined or rejoined the site. And even SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher reinstated her account this week, making herself available to spout whatever gobbledygook fans request in her distinctive nasal register for $1,500 per video.
Wow.
I just want to wish you a happy birthday.
No thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, and then finally, with the blue moon this last week, some people needed to be reminded: a blue moon doesn't mean the blue moon looks blue. But a blue moon only means it's a second full moon within a calendar month. And one of the things I learned this week that I didn't realize before, Australia is wider than the moon. Now, that sounds, it's like, wow, I guess I never really thought of the size of the moon before. But astronomers will tell you, our moon is actually more like a planet than a moon in its size. We have a much larger moon than most planets have normally. Our moon, if it was compared to all the other moons of the other planets in our solar system, should be maybe about 20 miles wide. Instead, it's like 2,000 miles wide or something like that. So it's a little bit strange. And if you if you want to go down a bunny trail this week, maybe you want to do this, maybe you don't. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about what the moon really is, thinking that it's hollow and all these other things that the moon might be rather than an actual moon. Anyway, all that to say is, if you ever wondered how big it is, Australia is actually wider than the moon.
So is the moon, you probably don't have an answer, is the moon bigger than Pluto? I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, because Pluto, assuming Pluto is still a planet, it's a dwarf planet, whatever. So Pluto is decidedly smaller than any of the other planets. And I can't remember what the smallest planet is. I think it's Mercury. Now that Pluto is no longer a planet. And Mercury's a lot smaller than the United States.
What is Pluto considered?
Well, it's a dwarf planet, but they no longer consider it a planet of the 9.
Okay.
So I had to change the mnemonic now. My very eccentric mother just stole us 9 pianos. Well, she can't just stole us
nectarines. I don't know. That's
well, there you go. Just stole us
change it all up.
nectarines. There you go.
All right. I think that's everything as far as randoms go for the week. How is everything at PAWS? Let's go focus on all things PAWS. Joann?
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine?
Next week, the same, if you're not going to the fashion show,
Oh,
is Poochapalooza.
Poochapalooza.
From 10 to 1. I don't know. I have is that backward?
I don't have.
It is, but we can still read it.
I don't have the graphic for that. I don't know why. That's on me.
Poochapalooza. September 9th, 10 to 1 at Lubac Road Auto Mall. Donations to benefit Noah's Ark and PAWS. And they are going to have they're having food trucks, vendors on site, and they're going to have training demos. And also animal meet and greets, and all adoption fees are covered by Lubac Road. So it's kind of exciting for us.
So they might.
We used to have, before COVID, they had a event called Pupapalooza. So they're trying to reinvent it.
Awesome. Okay.
So,
next Saturday,
10 to 1. I will actually have, I'm getting a dog from Arkansas next week. So I will have 2 dogs. Foxy still isn't adopted because adoptions for dogs have been a little bit slow.
Okay.
Basically, they've done okay with when the fosters adopt.
Well, you could go to both events next week. It's just if you went to Poochapalooza with nice clothes and then you got fur all over you, and then went to the.
Oh, then you could have a whole new.
Yeah, I got fur all over my wardrobe. I need a new blouse or something. Hey, a dog from Arkansas. That'd be interesting to see a dog with no teeth.
Hey, badoonch. Oh,
thank you. I'm here all week.
She's actually a Mexican hairless.
No teeth and no hair.
Oh boy.
No hair.
I'm kidding to all my Arkansas friends.
Really, they're gonna write to us again.
All right.
They're gonna write to us again. Here's our list. Look at the cats. Now is that backwards again? I switched it and then I had to switch it back.
Nope, you double clicked.
Oh.
There we go. Bingo. It's a little fuzzy, but we get the picture. It was a good month. August was a good month.
Yeah.
Yes. Today is September 2nd. So we'll have to wait for the final count. 3, 4, 5, 7 dogs, and I'm not going to count the cat. We have this is not the wall of shame. We'll call it the wall of fame.
Wall of fame.
These are our cats and dogs that are in foster that, if someone comes in and said, do you have any other animals? Yeah. They can kind of check out this listing.
What a good idea.
And see, because sometimes they say, well, look on the internet. And not all people have access to the internet. So, and we'll zoom in on Foxy. Foxy's getting to be a really lovely dog.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. I lied to them. Just the dogs. Okay. I made this big speech and you saying I'm not right. These are actually.
What are they?
Actually, this is a Hall of Fame. Okay. These are all cats. The cats are all in the shelter, but that will give them a quicker. I thought my idea was even better.
It was a good idea. It definitely was a good idea.
This is Pork Chop. He's also a foster dog in a foster home. And then down here is Thunderbolt. These 2 dogs are from the same litter. So we only have 3 dogs right now in foster. So we're getting some more before the Lubac Road event. I don't know how many, but This cat I fell in love with this cat.
Oh, I can see why.
This is one of those things where you can work in PAWS and fall in love every single day.
Yeah. I want her.
This is Jasper. It's a little boy. Look at the little fuzziness. He's gonna come down and talk to us. Jasper.
If you open this door, we get to play. Come on.
Yeah,
That's right.
come on. You know how to do it.
Explore.
And I'm kind of excited because last week, well, for several weeks, we talked about the 3 cats that came in from a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is not false. All 3 cats, the 3 cats that their owner died and they were relinquished to PAWS, they were adopted all together.
Oh.
So blessings to the person who took all 3 into their home.
Oh,
This is
wow.
a crabby Kawasaki.
Blends right in with that carpet on the perch.
Yeah, it really does. And then we have like famous kittens here. Look at these 2 little charcoal kittens.
Oh.
Chowing down. Little kitten has. I think this is the kitten they talked about that has chronic eye problems. That they might have to have eye drops for her life. There's- And then it's still all boys in the community room.
It looks like a frat house or something. They've been partying hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some are younger. There's a few younger ones in there.
Your mama cat don't live
And the
here.
one,
Clean up
that's
after yourselves.
another one that got adoption, the one that I liked real well.
Definitely an active day over at PAWS.
Always. PAWS. What did we, PAWS HQ we used to call it.
PAWS HSHQ.
So that's kind of,
Yeah. No wonder nobody can find the website. They're so confused. I type in
Don't
PAWS
do that.
HQ every week and I can't find it.
PAWSHS.org. PAWSHS.org. Or give them a call, 815-299-PAWS, 815-299-7297.
next week we'll be getting some more dogs.
All right.
But Foxy is an owner relinquished. And came in a little
Sorry about
bit
that.
timid, and living at Joann's house has brought out the craziness in him. Her, I should say. I don't know. She's turned into a real wonderful dog.
Well, let's go into this. Our big number of the Our current race to 10 is a tie right now at a score of 5-5. And our big number of the week this week is 92,003. Our answer is fraud or fans. Fraud or fans. I got Tom's answer via text. Joann, what is your answer? Fraud or fans? 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to go with fans.
You're going to go with fans. So either you're both scoring or you're both not scoring this week.
Tom's trick of sending it early doesn't seem to be working.
It's not a trick.
He likes to decide early and just not have to think about it.
I thought he was thinking I was cheating and reading his lips.
Yeah. Well, technology delays really kind of prevent cheating on this whole game anyway. We go to Germany.
Who would cheat on this game
I
anyway?
would. We go to Germany, the country of my birth. I was born in Germany, and a 38-year-old man has been convicted of 468 counts of fraud and forgery after 3 years of shopping sprees with stolen credit cards. 3 years he's been doing this. Cops finally caught him. He blamed it on his unquenchable shopping obsession. He says he was not interested in the money. He just loved being waited on in stores. All the customer service he was getting made him feel like a king.
So did he return all the merchandise when he got tired of feeling like a king?
So when the police looked in his home, they found almost all of the stuff he bought in its original unopened packaging. Over
about someone's princess.
He charged around $300,000 worth of merchandise over that 3 years, and almost all of it was still in his home in original unopened packaging.
Stolen. I mean, I had my purse stolen and my credit cards used. Typically, you cancel them right away.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they'll do it within 24 to 48 hours, because sometimes you're like, wait a minute, where did I leave that credit card? And before you realize, oh, okay, my purse is gone. This
468 times at least, probably more than that. He was charged with 468 counts of fraud and forgery and spent over $300,000 worth of of goods. You guys both get a point this week. Congratulations. Yay. And congratulations also goes out to the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers. And the Cornhuskers and their fans, they scored a unique kind of victory this week. They set a new global world record for attendance at a women's sporting event. Did you see that?
I heard this. I think I heard it on ESPN or something.
Yeah. So
volleyball, right?
Memorial Stadium, where the Cornhuskers play football, seats 85,000 spectators for football. But they put the women's volleyball court in the middle of the football stadium and added a whole bunch of more seats. So the previous world record for fans at a women's sporting event was 91,648 at the Champions League game in Barcelona back in 2022. Well, the Cornhuskers packed in 92,003 fans to watch the Lady Cornhuskers play volleyball.
It has to be very accurate counting when they get to 3.
That's right. That's right. That's how many seats were there, and that's how many people they got in the stadium. So kudos to them. And our friend Nicole, who's a huge she's from Nebraska. She loves her Cornhuskers, and her coach, her high school coach, was honored on the big screen during that match for his years of volleyball coaching in Ogallala, Nebraska. Kudos to the volleyball coach there, who's, I don't know, 30-something years of coaching volleyball at the high school. All right, friends, anything you want to throw in here before we wrap up for the week?
Football starts this week.
Football starts
Thursday night.
Isn't next Saturday a big game? Or next Sunday's a big game?
Next Sunday, Packers Bears. You bet.
Thursday night is Lions Chiefs.
Lions Chiefs. Yep. Kansas City, Detroit.
So, prediction for Kansas City versus Detroit, Tom?
Well, Kansas City should win this game. It would not surprise me if Detroit won it. Detroit, as we said, has a very good team.
Yeah.
They have a very good team. They're just not well coached. Andy Reid will outcoach Dan Campbell 3 out of 4 plays. So I think it's going to be Kansas City 30, Detroit probably 17.
All right.
That's what I think.
Thanks.
Double-digit victory.
Thanks again to SARENE for coming on, supporting Womanspace. And the event, again, 1 week from today is Restyle the Runway at Rockford University. Get your tickets through the Womanspace website. Go to womanspace.com and enjoy that event. All right, guys, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week, and join us again next week for Taylor Adolphson. She'll be talking about the walk to end Alzheimer's here on your Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.
Bye now.